Hello everyone and welcome back to the next episode of Transport Fever 2 Mega Urban, where in the last episode we got a nice underground railway, we're calling it our metro in, from, for now, Middleton to Money-in-Sea, and in this episode I really want to go for the public transport expansion. I know we kind of did cargo for a bit and kind of gone off it again, but really I feel like passenger transport is main priority here. So between episodes I've done my usual, I've done an upgrade to something, and here I've done an upgrade to Money Market. There's a train just shuttling back and forth between the two stations. That's mainly just to take a little bit of pressure off this station for the line all the way over to Money, and which also runs through here. And it's got more platforms. I've kind of separated out stuff a bit more. There's still like all a mess with, like, I've allowed this to use like each line to use several different platforms. Same here, but I've separated it a bit. And also the way I've had to do it is that there's now a crossover here, which you won't see because I sent basically the stopper line, which goes down the outside on these tracks into a tunnel to then come out into the middle tracks here. I mean, we could probably have them cross over on a level, but they don't need to. So the first thing I want to look at is whether we could get Metro through to Money Market. Now I have accelerated the time forward a bit to 1990 mainly, so we can get these subway stations, as they're called. The main reasons why these are good is that they don't try to crash the game. So we can choose, I think, 120 platform length. I'm trying to think, what have we gone with? Because these are kind of annoying. They're either 120 or 240. I think we've actually been going for 160 platform length. I don't know actually, but our trains are not even 100 metres long, so we could probably cope with these. So I want to essentially extend this line. It's going to be a long line through to Middleton Valley, if possible. It's going to be hilly, which is good because I think these stations are deeper as well. Meaning I think the problem of it being kind of hilly is going to be less so, because it's not going to try to suddenly pop out of tunnel. Right, we're going to go for standard track, 2 tracks, 120 metre long platform. So that goes, I mean, it has bus stops on it, we're not going to use them, we're just going to use the ones that it literally connects to. Right, now here we can get a stop literally by the station here. And then why not get another one as it's on its way out of Middleton Valley area, just because obviously all our towns are expanding rapidly, and it's not going to be right on the edge for much longer, although it probably isn't going to ever be like the centre of anything. Okay, this is kind of annoying. What happens if we just get a road off here like that? And then that collides. Okay, get a road off here like there. Still has a collision. It's kind of annoying. We could just get it a bit further back and then probably the slope. Seriously? Is the slope still going to be an issue? Yeah, it is. Okay, let's go right back. Okay, we can get a road there and we can get a road there. And can we get a road straight up? Yes, we can. So that connects to a little bit of stuff. Not much for now, but... And then it's going to... I'm tempted to actually merge into these train lines, mainly because they're not actually that busy, and then have them come off at some point. So let's just build the tracks, and then I have way more ideas for what to do in this episode. Might overlap into next episode, but... So we want it to stay in a tunnel. Not being at max speed is fine, because what's max speed when it comes to the metro lines anyway? It's a fairly big gap between stations, and yeah, like I said, it's quite a lot deeper here. But yeah, some decent speed, but it's not that fast. But then again, we're not going for particularly fast trains. And for now we are using trains that have the capacity, the capability to go this fast, but at the same time, like, they're not actually going to get that fast, right? Let's do just a straight connection. I'm not going to merge them into the same kind of double track tunnel. They can just keep separate. Same for these. This is so much easier without those other underground stations of like building a dedicated entrance and whatever. Right. Slight thing with these is it's going to take them a while to come out the tunnel. But I guess the one other thing we could do is actually kind of keep them. We could keep them in the same kind of area here, so we can get them above ground and kind of running roughly alongside the other train lines. But we don't actually have to connect in the tracks. It's kind of weird how we are kind of not doing a tunnel when that one is, but whatever. Whatevs. But we do probably want to start going down at some point. I know it's fine. I mean, I'm actually thinking if we just did up to here as kind of right alongside the main line. Connected properly there? Yep, I am. So, no idea. Let's just kind of bring it out to there. And then, hopefully we might be able to make a connection. Don't like it slowing down that much, because this is like the one place where we might actually be able to get a decent bit of speed. Let's try for the 70, and then once again, just keep it going round like that speed, and yeah, that's fine. So, this is kind of going up at this point, and this is where we are actually going to now try to start sinking this down as we work out exactly where we're going to have stops in Money Market. Now the thing is, they don't actually need to go near to these stations. It would be nice to have at least some connection to one of the railway lines, but we could always like do a route across like this, connect up to Money Market South, but I guess actually, okay, what I'm thinking is we connect to Money Market East by basically, and by connect, I mean build it kind of near Money Market East, so that will connect, and then basically send it kind of across this way. So there's a little bit of destruction because the surface building is relatively large, but that's going to be a bit of a turn, but whatever. And then once again here, going to build one, and then it's going to go into the centre of Money Market South. Think about here, that's should be close enough to the station to make it connect. There we go. That's just actually not tracks, roads. Too much slope to make that connect through. Is there an opportunity to like start going down this way? Yes, there is just about. Right, and then we're going to bring it out to here. Not building streets, there we go. And that is going to be the end of the line. So, once again, this is now a super long train line, but yeah, it's quite deep, so no issues here with it trying to pop up above ground. This definitely connects, yes. And then this is now gonna keep it the same level, which is now going to be a bit of a challenge as to a game of making these connect, which are not too difficult. It's just going to be a bit of a slowdown, but like I said, trains ain't going that fast anyway. We're going to stay roughly parallel to all of this and merge in like that. Right here it's just a straight line, and then it's another pretty tight turn. Actually, no, it's not that tight. I thought it was way tighter, but no, that's fine. And yeah, it's just like that, right? And they are connected at this end, so they run up. So we've essentially got to work out how we're approaching this bit of the line. So I think we're going to sink it down into the valley now. And then, what happens if we just go from here to here? It does a straight tunnel connection, nice and easy, and doesn't interfere with anything, so that's good. We can build that. So then, basically just connect around to here. Right, last thing we need before we extend it is some way for the trains to cross over here. So this will be like the proper end of the line as well. Like this, I don't know where we would even extend the line from here. It's possible we'll create lines branching off at some point, but for now, this is it for the line. Right, I haven't been doing many signals on the line, like in general, just because stops are close together. We probably don't need them, but I am going to do a few on the longer gaps between stations. It's like not here, but then a few here. Just there won't be that many trains on the line, because although there'll be a lot of trains on the line, we didn't mean to place signal there. Although there'll be a lot of trains on the line, like it's only one line using these tracks. It's not actually gonna lead to like loads of trains causing a jam or whatever if our signals aren't that close together. Right, and then these will be our last signals until, and then I'm going to put one here. So, this so-called metro line here, and this line, Middleton Central, no longer will you be able to use platform 2, because we're then going to extend you to here, which is immediately going to cause it to break, which is fine, because we're using one-way signals. It will break until we get it to the next crossover, which is at the end of the line. So, where does it go next? Here, 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 and here. Right, that's fine. Let it use both platforms here. Then go back the same way again. And then it kind of runs down here through Middleton Valley. Then we need to also add in the stop here. And that does that. So it's now Money Market, Money into Metro, which is a long line. And quite frankly, it would be pretty weird for them to actually ride this end to end, but that's not the point. The point is to give options for urban and kind of between cities, kind of short distance. She connects a few buildings that were never connected before, and we're going to place a massive depot for this line. Just kind of adds to a bit of the realism. Let's go for this style here, and then so yeah, and then we're going to basically get these tracks to continue up to here. So, yeah, no trains are running beyond here in regular service, but this will be our, like, we're designating this as our depot for the line, and I'll definitely pull a few trains out of here to start operation on the line. So, yeah, if we just get the tracks, bear in mind there are kind of patches of water here. We can then get kind of depot tracks to merge in a bit. Plenty of space. Let's kind of just do like into two and then a crossover. We can technically send trains back to depot, and though I almost never use that feature, it's good to at least give the option, if nothing else then for realism. And then we are actually going to just pull the tracks out here out a bit more. It's going to bring them to an actual end. So kind of, yeah, just for the kind of creativity of design and realism more than anything else, because quite frankly we don't need to pull tracks out like this. That's already a 3-point junction. Do that, we can have a nice crossover here, why not? There we go. That's good. Whatever. That'll do. So, that's our line. We have these. It's really cool. They are the 4 coach rounds for that. I've gone through quite a bit of time since we bought these vehicles, so we can see if there's anything better. We're definitely going for electrical multiple units. I suppose we could go for these. These are high capacity. So, we've got the different variants, but I feel like the 4 coach is perfect. So it's just this general one here. So you're going to buy one for the line. We're actually going to buy another one for the line. And then the other 8 we're going to replace. There we go. And we'll let them spread out a bit. Right, that's project number 1 that I had in my mind for today's episode. Project number 2, basically, it's quite a simple one. Get this bus line here up to... well, we could even bring it... I don't know where to bring it to. Cashbury Valley even, we could go quite far. We're going to make an intercity bus line that basically cuts across the train lines. Because essentially in this area... let's just upgrade the roads a bit. Basically, our train lines are running this orientation here. It's technically actually north to south, because technically we're on this angle here. You just see train lines running in that angle. We haven't really got much public transport going the other direction. So that's what we're going to build. Now, it is quite a hilly area, so... and in fact, train lines wouldn't work as well. We're just going to do a nice rural road. Nothing special about it. We don't need player ownership. We don't need bus lane. Probably some general traffic will use it. They are perfectly welcome to do that. We are literally just going to go over the hills. And yes, it will be quite bumpy. Yeah, why not? Put a tunnel there. Put a bridge there, maybe. Because, yeah, that seems reasonable. Sort of bridge, let's go for this sort of bridge here, and then that goes into Middleton Valley, and then we are gonna go down this road to about here where it suddenly turns, and then we're gonna get a road like this way. So let's upgrade this road. We'll definitely have a look at what buses we could get on that line to really take advantage of speed. So we'll do a junction with this road once again. Like, this is a road for people with their cars to use as well if they want. So it goes up this way, and then it's just going to go. At the moment it's not got... See, I would like to bring it over as a bridge. I just don't want a bridge that long, so we're just going to go here. I'm going to use the M key to bring it up, create a bridge, and then the rest will be at ground level. So, we've got some lovely new bus stops from Berlin, which I know because they say bus stop from Berlin. So we'd have bus stops on both sides of the road here. Those just come with a train station. Let's just go for these style of bus stop now. We're going to do one here and here. We're then going to skip through a bit. Maybe we could use the bus stops on this station. Let's not do this with a country road. So we could get stops there and there, and then into here. It will obviously have kind of access to bus stops on other routes, but I kind of want to have this as its own route. So we're going to do stops here and here as it's exiting. So I'm going to run up this road here. So I'm going to run a couple of bus stops here and here. Connect to stuff. No, they don't quite connect to that train station. I'm going to change that because I want them to connect to that train station. Because why not? And then I think we're literally just going to bring them around the back of this station. Yes, there is an exit on this side, so it comes down this road here and then just a stop there to turn around. So on our bus line, Christian Point Shuttle. So after Grange Road, it's going to stop here. cash and point transfer. It's then going to stop here, 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 and then it's going to run up this road and stop here, and then just here. There we go, and then you can go back down. It's going to stop here again. It's going to stop back at the station, the metro station here, then back here, and then it goes back through. So that's a Cashton point to Cashbury Valley. So literally the entire way across the map, pretty much. We're definitely going to need to look into our vehicles now. So I think for this line we should put a priority on what's the fastest of us. And that one there. You see, these are 50. We're going to go up to 56. I'm not sure how much of a difference that'll make. That'll make a bit of a difference. We have 5 of them. They're all kind of cramped down at this end of the line. I'm going to take 2 of them, sell them. Right, I got 3. I am then going to get a... Actually, we've already got a depot around here. Yep. Let's use this road depot here. I'm going to get 4 more of these buses. And then up at Cashbury Valley, I'm sure there'll be a road depot somewhere around here. We can use that one. We can get another 3. That just automatically spreads out the vehicles a bit. Because otherwise they won't spread out as well. So, that's our next project. The next project, and I know this is kind of crazy to do all of this stuff in one episode, is we're going to build a high-speed rail line. We are going to get a station in Moneytown, we're going to get a station in Money Market, and we're going to get a station in Cashbury. Our probably 3 biggest urban areas. We might also do an extension over to this side of the map as well. Probably, I think kind of Cashtopia is the most central part of this side, so maybe that, I don't know. Let's start with a station here. I'm quite liking the look of this station for something modern, 240 metres. This is going to be our main high-speed station, and I know it's a bit out of the way of the main town. Let's just clear a bit of space, particularly given we don't want cars to be too tight, but it connects to the trams, and I think we might even extend the metro to this side. The train line will have to do quite a tight bend to get north, but that's fine. So this is kind of a cool design station, I like it. So it connects to the trams, but the trams not really that useful for getting to the rest of Moneytown. So I'm going to get, essentially, if we go to the underground stations, all the way back here, and you get this one there, we're going to get a branch that comes off, it's going to have a stop here roughly. And hopefully the tracks are deep enough to get under the water from there. Otherwise it's going to be pretty awkward, quite frankly. Right, let's just see whether this road will connect to anywhere. It can connect to there, that'll do. So it's going to come off there, and then it's going to get stopped there. And then we're actually going to... We can actually add more to this station, I didn't realise. You know what, 6 platforms is probably more than we need, so why not? Actually, no, you know, I don't know. Definitely do not build a road there. Okay, pause. I'm just thinking, should we get another 2 tracks? Should we just go on the same tracks? So we just delete this and replace it with 8 platforms. That's probably the easiest, actually. Rather than trying to add them on. So we're going to try to bring it out of being underground. That might not work either, to be honest, so might be being a little bit quick. So this is a pretty deep station here. Yeah, too much slope. We shouldn't get this. Should we just... I think we should just go back to trying to do the other type, even if it has a tendency to crash the game, is quite annoying and more difficult to set up. It's fundamentally, I don't know, or we could just, this is a bit weird. If we did, okay, I'm scrolling, I have so many stations of the workshop. Have we got sunken stations somewhere? That's the one. Gonna have to go for 160 meter length, and yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a challenge to get in. Right, so let's get, okay, so 2 tracks. We're gonna get it depth of that, and then we want both overpasses, well, the entrance on the overpass, and then you know, we're not gonna get, we might get B. Yeah, that's B. But hopefully that, no, it doesn't set the tracks up to go into a tunnel straight after. I was thinking, is there a way to basically get it? So these are going to go straight out onto a bridge, I think. That's fine. We essentially need these to connect into here. Yeah, it's not possible, mainly because we're on a bit of a hill here. Right, let's stop destroying stuff here. Let's work out, should we just go a bit more like round this side here? I think we're just going to go for, where is it? Like I said, I've got way too many stations. This type here. Yeah, we can slope these as well, I've just remembered. Just do this. So, if we put this here, and then we put street constructions, a little underpass somewhere around here. Try to get it to connect. That hasn't connected. That's just a warning. So, if we add entry level, we can add this. We can confirm that's set up. Hopefully, don't have to do that again. That's a bit weird with the track layout, but whatevs. Quite frankly, as long as it does a connection there, which just seems to work, actually, quite frankly, I couldn't care less about the fact that we've somehow got a platform in the middle and on either side, whatever. And then after this, oh, perfect, quite frankly. You know what, that has worked well, so I'm not going to complain about anything. Let's just get this here, we can, I'm actually going to go for high-speed tracks here, just because the style of the station is high-speed tracks, and then just go to high-speed here, there we go, that'll do, as far as the tunnel. And then signals, you can do one approaching here, and then on the junction here, right, and then, to be honest, we are going to make this line run as far as this station here. So, on this station, we're going to do a crossover. We are also going to do a crossover on this side, and I'll explain why in a bit. Or, in a bit, well, whenever we can actually make a crossover work. Also, I'm not sure why we're doing this with high-speed tracks, but okay. There we go. So, essentially, we've only got 2 platforms here. However, we can have a line terminating and a line going through. Let's just un-high-speed these, not that we'll actually notice. So, essentially, the line that currently goes through here, it's 23 and 39. Yes, we have so many stops. I am going to allow it to use both platforms. And the reason is just to have a little bit more flexibility when we're going to have terminating trains going into the same 2 platforms for them to just switch around. So, I'm then going to get one from here, to here, to here, to here, to here. So that's going to use either platform there, and then run back again. Just a short little line. Oh, yeah, I know short and little kind of mean the same thing, but whatever. So 1 and 2, and that is just the... Let's just call that the Moneytown Metro for now. And we haven't got a depot particularly near here, so... which way does the depot here face? Okay, we could get a train out of the depot here. And then get it on the Moneytown Metro. And also get a train from the depot here, maybe. And hopefully, at some point, they'll both make it onto the line. Probably don't need more than 2, to be honest. It's a short line. And then, okay, let's go for the high-speed line, even if we don't fully complete it today. So, we just want a station in Money Market. I think we're going to go for elevated. We could go for underground. I quite like the look of this station, even though it's a bit more destructive. 240 high speed. Station height. Want to be careful with the hills that we can actually make stuff get over. Right, so if we went for about here, for the station location. You know what? Oh, too much slope is probably at trying to connect to both roads. Okay, so that seems to work. That connects to this station. That does not connect to this station, mainly because I think this road could do with connecting through. Right, yeah, so it connects to that station and that station, meaning good onward connections. I'm not going to bother to send it any further in that direction. We have a high-speed station. We're then going to go for straight into the high-speed tracks. And hopefully we can get it to... I mean, the fact we can just run it straight across the station building here makes me a little concerned. Let's at least try to get it, like, above. Okay, so, like that maybe. So, no bridge pillar collisions as of yet, so... We're going to get... junction here and then... merge it. Unfortunately, we can't do the kind of triple junctions on bridges generally, or at least not modded bridges, which this is doing by default out of the station. So, bridge with a collision not happening anymore. So we've got a crossover between the middle 2 tracks, and then a crossover to used only for the outer 2 platforms, and then entrance signal over there. We'll do the rest of the signals later. So, although we definitely need more public transport around here, I'm going to do, actually, let's just do the laziest public transport ever. So, bus stop here connects to that one, that's good, right. Connects to the station. Connects around the place, right, let's just do the laziest bus route you've ever seen. Right, that'll do. This is Money Market Bus 4. Covers some of this area just because I thought about it. Actually, it feels like we should bring it down further here. That connects to, yeah, that connects far and away, so after 6 we're literally just going to bring it to there and make it do a U-turn. There we go for now. And where's a bus depot, road depot, whatever. Get 4 of these on. There we go, bus line in about set up in about a minute. So, we're going to keep this train line running out of Money Market, and we are going to encounter some issues with bridge pillar collision. But somehow we can maybe get around them. Okay, this is going to be a great game of... Can we avoid bridge pillar collision? I'm just going to delete a load of these buildings. They'll grow back once we've got the line, just so we don't have bridge pillar collisions anymore. Right, we're slowly making our way out of the urban area. And yeah, let's start bringing it down. And that has somehow not created any bridge pillar collisions whatsoever. Okay, so about here, that's fine, right. We do probably want the line to get over all of this rather than crossing right over. Let's just make it one bridge there. There we go. It does come down to ground, and then there's another bridge. And then as soon as we're over, we can then start running back down again. And this is then just going to run pretty much direct. We can do a road crossing here, because whatever. I mean, you wouldn't usually have road crossings on high-speed line because risks of kind of loads of stuff actually. But yeah, right. So here we're then gonna go for bridge. So it's this bridge. There's this bridge which looks exactly the same. There's this bridge which looks cool. I like that for this area. Just get it over everything that's happening here. Oh, that's doing a bit of an awkward hump there. That road. Streets. Rural roads. There we go. Connected still, not that that road needs to be connected, right. So, once again another case of needing a little bit of a bridge and crossing over a road, but it's fine. It's kinda, there's a little tunnel there. Let's just bring this whole line up a bit. You've got bridge there, no tunnel, that's fine. So it runs more or less alongside the main line for a lot of this, and then starts to bend around into the middle tracks there, and that is nice and smooth. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to do a bit of a... Is that really not going to work? Let's make it work. It's a bit of slowing down for the station. So if we did a track here, then connected that up, and then did a track here, connected that up, right. Now to 2 tracks for 3 trains only. Middle 4 can be used for changing direction. The other 2 are for the metro anyway, so not the high speed line. Right, so that's successfully got it this distance, and then for now, the only other place we're going to go with it is straight up to Cashbury. So there is a question as to whether we bring it into the system here, and I don't think it's an awful idea, quite frankly. There are 8 platforms here. We very rarely use all 8. At good junctions we could just bring it off. So let's just, there we're going to start an extra track going and snap onto this bridge here for now, and then this point here we're going to get those tracks off. So that goes there, then that can, yeah, see, the only awkward thing is we've actually, if we bring it in there, we can only get to these 2. Let's just bring a track off. Can we just snap to the side of this bridge? It's not easy, but yes, I think we've got it. there. So snap into this, and then let's quite frankly just snap into there, then go like that, then it's an awkward connection, let's just do it like that, there we go. And then, yeah, I mean, it can only use 2 platforms, but we could do a track like this, which would need to be a double slip switch here, and suddenly that has way more options, and by way more options I think it could go into 1 extra platform. Okay, well, that'll do. It's fine, we'll get a signal here, and we'll get a signal exiting here as well, because it's just good to let the next train come out as soon as it's got past that. Right, and then we are going to start to bring it on this bridge, just because it's a very handy grade separated route out of the station. Even though it's limited to 140 miles an hour, that's fine, that's still pretty fast. Bear in mind they can go to 186, usually the high-speed trains, so 140 is not too bad. And then we are going to then start the high-speed line. Get a nice whatever this bridge is, which I quite like the look of. It's probably one of them. It's definitely one of the modded ones. Oh, okay. Shouldn't be bringing it down too quickly because I don't want to run straight through that high-speed line there. It's not even high speed, that line. Just that train line in general. So okay, let's just go back a bit and just make sure it's going over that high speed line there. And then essentially we need to get through this area here with a bridge that can do high speed. There we go. So we're going to essentially run just straight over the hills. Let's get rid of that road there because we're essentially just going to go for a bridge. Bridge pillar collision, yeah, I thought that might happen. Let's just see how far we can get in short segments. It's mainly buildings. When you're building a bridge, it won't like destroy buildings for the bridge pillars. So I'm just going to basically clear all the buildings in a straight line path, because they will grow back exactly where they were anyway. It's like a bit weird as well. So let's just keep that running through there, and then I can go to there, that's to there. Right, and then can we get through to... we can get through to here, and then we can't actually get through any further. Okay. Let's just go here, delete a load of buildings. Like I said, they will grow back exactly where they were before. So, just do a nice kind of cool modern looking tunnel there. Nice speed lines in real life do usually have quite a lot of bridges and tunnels, right? So that's going there, and we need to get it to there. So that's actually pretty straight by the standards of train lines. One problem is, yeah, how do we get across all of this stuff? So we could plan the exit of this station first. If we just did a curve like this, we could try to set up exactly the same junction as we did on the other side. And quite frankly, we could at some point have a train line going the other way, but quite likely it would like at least merge in with this for the route out of Moneyville, no, Moneytown, sorry, anyway, because it's otherwise going to have to cut straight across the city, which we're not going to do. So, there we go. Get rid of this road here. Well, we could get rid of the trees, but that's not a necessity. So we can do a nice bridge here. I'm liking this bridge style for the high-speed line. And then we essentially need to bypass Middleton to get up to there, which isn't going to be too much of an issue. There we go. One building to be removed, that's doable. Right. How would we best connect up to here? So, we have issues. Not really going to solve them with the M and N keys. I don't know whether that's because simply can't be done, or... Yeah, so... only thing we need to come up for here, which is quite steep up, but quite frankly, that works now. It has to slow down to 171, which is not really an issue, right? Issues with that road, so we will rebuild that later, because we definitely don't want a high-speed line doing kind of tunnel intersections, which you can't actually really do with a random road. So, ooh, that's a void tunnel. Let's do the darker one. Why not? And then go back and sort that road. It is this type of road, and it can go like that. There we go. That is our high-speed line, minus the signals. So from here, we're going to kind of follow the signals on this line out of Cashbury to about here. And then we're going to kind of do our own. They're going to be quite far apart, because bear in mind the train's going quite fast. So they don't need signals super close. Right, so starting to slow down here. We're going to get a signal here and a signal here, just so they know when they've cleared it. And putting signals right after the exit of a station isn't always the best idea, because it can cause blockages, but like not on a long straight line like this without any junctions. It's not going to cause any issues whatsoever. Right. There we go. So, the only thing we don't have is a high-speed depot. And the depot itself does need to be high-speed. Let's just go for this one here. Let's go for high-speed tracks. Let's just put it about there, and then essentially merge in and have a crossover before it merges in. Just so use both sides, and then exact same thing on the side of the depot. They can leave in both directions, which is good, right? We're gonna have signals there, there, and there. And then we can just put signals here and here, and also here and here, just for trains leaving the depot. Right, for now, just the one high-speed line from here to one of the middle platforms. 2, yeah, 2's good, I like 2. Right, and then we're going to go to here, and then for now, literally just through to Cashbury. Now we could send it out on the existing train line to Moneyopolis. That's not inconceivable, but for now that's not going to happen. We're just going to run into platform 1 with the option of 2 and 3 here, and then I'm going to run it back to here. Don't go that side of it. think basically, let's do those as the defaults, but you can use anything. Actually, no, anything you can. Let's actually get this to do 3, and this to do 8, actually. Let's just send it around the outside. And we can use a load more, and this is... Yeah, I mean, we could do a lot more with high speed line. We can merge the tracks into the regular lines like we have here at Cashbury, and maybe send the trains further. Lots of things we could do. Let's just Cashbury Centre. This line here, number 10 I think it would be. Let's default it to 2 instead. I don't think anything else actually defaults to 2, does it? No, I think we actually have one line on each platform now, which is kind of cool. Right, so line 1 is Money Market to Cashbury. And I don't think we even ever had a direct train line between Money Market and Cashbury before. Right, so from our high-speed depot, we're going to get whatever looks like the best high-speed train. Now, I'm less bothered about capacity and more bothered about speed and power. So this one's pretty mediocre. This is 203. It's mediocre. We could. This is a bit weird. It's still fairly high capacity and that's good power. So it's a double 5 basically. Which basically never run in real life, but they're not designed like this, but let's get one from, I think this sends one out of each side, but I'm not. Yes, it does send one out of each side. They won't be perfectly balanced, but it's a bit better than sending 2 out the same side. And they... Yeah, Moneytown South, that's a great name. It only connects to the tramline and the metro right now, but that's good enough. I can rebuild around here where I messed it all up. Is anyone waiting for this line? Anywhere? No. I suppose we've only just put the game into play after doing all that stuff, so hopefully over time people use our high speed line. You can see here one train nicely waiting for other trains. We've got several trains coming in and out at once, which is never like, I always quite enjoy this with, like, we've built junctions, signals, whatever, so that we can actually send multiple trains in and out at the same time. It's not perfect, it's never perfect, but there'll always still be some trains waiting around for other trains, but I feel like we always do a good job. We've got 2 trains coming along here. I can't remember. So that one is supposed to run into that platform, which means this one is, supposed to run into the other one, although they can both use both. There's suddenly 2 parallel trains going on there. This train here using a different one. This one's gonna... Ooh, that's having to wait for a free path, because it's kind of gone further right than it usually would. The one thing about the kind of multiple platform select is you can't select which platform's like second priority. So really, I would say if it can't use this one, use that one or that one. Not like go all the way over to the other side, but whatever. Same point in this train here. No idea what this one's going to try to do. It might actually prevent this one from going out as well. Whatever. You can see 2 trains here, no issues. That one's about to cross over there. Ooh, this one's now moving. Oh, that one's pulling over to that side. That's it. This is how these jet designs work, and this one is now to wait for a free path. I think that one's going out on this line here. Yes, so it's going to have to wait for this train to do its job, although it actually shouldn't have to. Actually, I don't know. If we just placed a track exactly here that crosses over, doesn't actually use that, right? Not necessary then. Oops. It's not what I intended to do. Oh, that'll do. It's not quite perfect. You can see it will come slightly misaligned there, but whatever. Right. Anyone for the high-speed line? 8 people, which is quite a lot, given we haven't actually been running the game for that long. Anyone for the high-speed line here? No. But yeah, I mean, it's really quite out of the way, this station, but that's what a lot of high-speed stations are. And yeah, would love to kind of bring another line. Maybe we could bring a high-speed line. Let's just see whether it would be feasible to set up a junction somewhere around here. No idea how the heights are going to work. If we just create a junction like here, if we made it come up even more than the other train line, and then kind of brought it over like this, that just about works, I think. Not the best speeds, but they'll do. Can bring them down. Oh wow, that's high. Does it really need to be that high by this point? I'm not sure it does. But yeah, I mean the speeds aren't the best because it is fairly tight, but we could bring a high speed line along here. We could have another stop at this end of the city and then send it out the other side. There we go. So, that's kind of the high-speed line for now. So now this track here, let's see whether we can get it anywhere close to merging into this line. We can. Don't really like how it's needing to do that. Okay, too much slope until we get to there. There we go. I mean, that is pretty wacky in terms of the heights, but doesn't need to come down quite so steeply once we're here, I think. Maybe. Maybe if we just get it to like there. And then there is a pretty daring move we could do, which is to try to get the junction to be three-way rather than just a simple split off. I have no idea whether that would work. Bridge pillar collision. Okay, so if we just bring this through to here, we can't delete it because of bridge pillar collision, which is one of the weirdest things I've seen. But, okay. Signal's there. Already got a signal there. Let's just do another one for the junction. And it's a pretty tight turn, I know, but they're not going to be running that fast anyway. But yeah, do we dare to try to send the tracks another direction? Why not? So which direction are tracks not? Yeah, we could bring this track down. It's going to have to cross over the road there and do it. Oh god, this turn is tight. But theoretically possible. We don't need to bring it that far down. If we just use the N key combined with, oh, is that road? Right, pause. Roads are fine, we can delete roads easily. Right, let's just try to get it around to here. Yeah, once again, we're going to delete this road now. If we just stopped it there, we could get it round here. Not the best speed, to be honest, but I think that's just about acceptable. And then it's got issues with too much slope. Let's uninvisible the bridge. Or let's, should I say, not use an invisible bridge. Yeah, okay, so once again, road. So let's just do this and then bring it into the tunnel and we can merge in somewhere here to high speed. Right. This is mad. Right, so for the other direction it should be a little easier, although speed is probably still against us. We just brought it a little bit further along. So that balanced out the speed a bit. 63. Once again, pretty pathetic actually, but it'll do. Let's just do something like that. Yeah, so whatever on earth this is, we'll wait to find out how it gets used in the next episode once I've fixed this tunnel. So yeah, in the next episode we will definitely be expanding our high-speed line this way to this side of the map. So yeah, thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.